First, I want to compliment and congratulate Industry Live for putting this together, and also for the National Small Industry Corporation to becoming a knowledge partner with this. Such events are very critical from three aspects. The first, it gets the exposure to MSMEs, to some of the top thinkers and some of the key experts in this area whom they would not necessarily get to actually interact with. Second, looking at the response to this, whether it is the exhibition or whether the attendance in the hall, they get a chance to meet with and interchange information with their peers. And the third aspect which happens in the award segment is that when you get recognition by your peers, it acts as an accelerator for people to excel going forward. I would say that startups here, or startup entrepreneurs, normally have a good idea and product or a good thing to actually do. They need to actually focus on building teams. So when I was talking today, or when I was addressing them, I gave the chai or the tea formula. So look at tea, the tea team, build teams, reward teams there, and get people who are necessarily not having the same set of skills as you, but complementary skills, so actually you form a wholesome kind of a company. The second is focus on execution, right? Because execution will determine what you need to go forward. The third is ambition. The ambition is, what is the goal of a company? What are you trying to do? So not necessarily that product or service which you first started off. If the first product or service does not work, can you pivot with the team and through execution to develop another product going forward? So the chai or the tea example is what I want to talk about.
Yes, first of all, I believe, as you know, the food and beverage sector, and also within this sector, the cafe business is growing tremendously. There is a compound growth rate of anywhere between 20 to 25, 30%, which is huge, which is fantastic. And this is in line with the development of the Indian market in general, which is growing in all areas, but particularly in this area, as people have higher incomes, they have access, they would like to spend their money, they want to go outside. Now, I would distinguish two sides of food and beverage industry. One is the part which is not suitable to be automatized. For example, that's the development of the products. This is the quality of the products. This is the experiential element of that. That is where you want to go, you want to have a human touch, you want to have a smile, you have to have somebody who says hello to you. It's not just about the food that you can eat individually. It is having your friends around with you, having an interaction. This is something that you can very, very, very difficultly automatize. So, and you should not. Yes, there is. Recently, I was in Thailand, and there was one of those. But even there, it was not fully automatized. It's a combination of real human servers and also basically a robot which would bring the food to your table. So that's one thing. Now, on the other hand, there are huge technologies that we should use. This is in terms of ERP, in terms of optimization of ordering, purchasing, quality control, process management within the company, time management, training. You can use a lot of software training your staff. And then in ordering, online ordering, marketing, loyalty programs, customer retention, etc., where technology can be of great assistance. So I believe in our industry, those will be successful who combine and use both of them in an appropriate measure. MSME sector is really the first building block for industrial development, creation of employment, and also creating a potential for export and many other developments. And there is no doubt, as I mentioned this morning, that fora like this are a wonderful opportunity for young people or less young people who have ideas, who want to develop their activities. This is a wonderful opportunity for them to, first of all, be exposed to the different areas, the challenges that entrepreneurship brings with itself, what it means going from a startup to an MSME, and to grow, to scale up. What it needs in terms of technology, courage, environment, regulatory environment, financing, etc., etc. And this is a wonderful opportunity. You have brought everyone under the same roof, actually in the same geographic area, and you can just go from one booth to the other. You have everything you need. So now what you need is to have initiative, you need to have determination, a vision, and execute.
I compliment the organizers for conducting this MSME Business India Convention. Definitely this is a good platform, bringing all the stakeholders, the practicing entrepreneurs, potential entrepreneurs, and who are also looking for the opportunities to learn something, and practicing people to share something. Definitely it is a very good interface for all the people who are looking for some opportunities, some collaboration, some business contacts. This is a very good platform. Entrepreneurship and business is nothing but taking risk and certainty to uncertainty. That's why most of the youth or youngsters are not attracted earlier, but these days after COVID and after recession, global recession and inflation, so most of the startups are coming into this MSME sector. India is a wonderful country. We have the best resources available in the world. Majority are available in our country. We have very good ecosystem in the country to start, to run, and to make it a profitable business. Government has established a very good mechanism, institutional support, financial support, technology support. I think the kind of innovative schemes have been launched, the kind of incubation system is being established for each sector, whether it is biosciences, IT, or plastics, or in the education sector. I think definitely more and more graduates and postgraduates, they are being motivated and they are inspired. They are taking up these days. Even we find agriculture students, graduates taking some business activity in engineering students taking some business activity in agriculture and dairy sector. It's happening. And the working professionals, for some work pressure or to serve the society or to derive the satisfaction, they are taking off, they are taking voluntary retirements and getting into the business. So MSME sector, everyone knows it is very vibrant sector, supporting for the employment generation and resource utilization. So hence most of the people are attracted. I think another 10 to 5 years, I think majority would be into MSME sector. Another important factor is that joblessness. So most of the youngsters, they are not getting the employment opportunities what they are looking for. So hence entrepreneurship and business management is one very good alternative. I think more people will join this bandwagon.
No, definitely it's a very good platform, and it's the second time in a row I'm attending this, and it definitely helps to improve the awareness about various stakeholders and what they're doing beyond what the government is doing. So today itself we had a very interesting panel with various private sector players as well, startups, serial entrepreneurs, kind of platforms the private sector is playing. I think that's an exposure that we get from such forums, and the government programs are all there in the website, but here we can also see how we can, it's also a platform for networking where we could actually see how the government and the private can coexist in this space and how we can work in a synergic manner. So I think that's how this platform is very useful. So I think today in India, rural India is doing very well because of the plethora of schemes that the government is also giving towards agriculture development, farmer welfare, rural development. And apart from that, there's a lot of infrastructure development also happening in rural areas. So rural areas, I think, is also equally now coming up as competent workforce beyond women, beyond the gender divide. Rural India itself is becoming a strong force to reckon with, be it in the consumer space, be it in the the other space, infrastructure space, or in any other domain, if you see, a lot of things are happening within rural India itself. And we also had a mission in the Government of India called the Urban Mission, where we actually tried to give urban amenities in rural areas, so that this distress migration that happens from rural to urban does not happen. So if you look at the kind of poverty that are there in urban areas is much more steep and much more dark, and in terms of when comparison with rural areas, because the rural people who come in search of employment in urban areas, then they start staying in decrepit buildings, and which are called slums. So that's how the slums are formed in urban areas. So what I am trying to say is that rural India and urban India, the divide is kind of thinning because of the kind of emphasis that we've done over the last 10 years in rural areas in India. And as far as women are concerned, I think women in both, it depends on the income segment actually, how, depending on the poverty line, that's when the differentiation comes between women, not between rural and urban. But as you said, rural areas, the kind of schemes that they do and the kind of enterprises that they set up is based on resources that are available in their backyard. So it's much more easier to function in rural areas today rather than urban areas, because urban areas has so many challenges of transportation, logistics, and all of their infrastructure support facilities are not available in urban areas. So I think it's a antithesis now. So the narrative is turning towards pro-rural in India.
I told you that we have around 70,000 to 18,000 MSMEs. And if you talk about MSMEs in India, if you just see the figures of Udyam, almost 2 crore MSMEs are there. If I talk about MSMEs in India, 2015-16 records, 6.3 crore MSMEs are there. So we have just scratched the surface of it. This kind of forum or this kind of platform create the awareness among the MSME community that these kind of facilities are available, what kind of government initiatives are there, what kind of digital way of financing are there, what kind of enablers are there where MSME can grow and fulfill their financial needs. Trade started in 2017. Government mandated that all the CPSCs to mandatorily get registered on trades platform. And biggest step taken by the Government of India in November 2018 to that they have mandated all the corporate above 500 crore turnover to mandatorily get registered on trades platform. Now considering that now there is more attraction, plus there are lower rated buyers are also there. Now government has further come with the notification that insurance company can be a fourth participant on the trades platform, and once risk sharing partner will be there, more banks will come and also financing against the lower rated buyer, plus refinancing or secondary market in the trades platform will bring more liquidity into the trades platform. And this how, and subsequently now government, when they started, they had actually allowed banks and NBFC factor. Now in recent amendment, they had also allowed NBFCs. This has really increased the kitty of the financer on the trades platform, and this will bring more traction, more liquidity, and more help to the MSME sector with respect to their working capital requirement.